The most important person in that room for a meet is that head ref. No one else makes a difference except what that head ref is telling you. My name's Valerie Smith. I am from Georgia. I'm obviously a USPA lifter. I'm a meet director for USPA in the state of, in Georgia. I also direct meets in North Carolina. State chair for USPA for Georgia, and international referee. Currently, I am the 2025 world and national champion in the Open and in the Masters. I've been powerlifting for, my gosh, 12, 13, 14 years, somewhere in there, competing. I run a gym in Gainesville, Georgia, and I also direct meets there. My powerlifting company is Iron Beast Powerlifting, or Iron Beast Strength, but I run a lot of meets out of my gym called the Beast Sports Center in Gainesville. So I directed last year probably 8 or 9 meets. This year I've got 10 that I'm running in various different places, and lots of brand new lifters. When we have these meets on a local level, what we're really trying to do is get people ready. Well, we want to bring them into powerlifting, introduce them to powerlifting, but hopefully get them kind of hooked on it to where they're ready to go to the next level and move into going to nationals or going to regionals, maybe even going to worlds. One of the things that I ask at all of my meets that I do is, how many new lifters do we have? Because we do our rules briefing, and I would say probably 50% of the lifters that I have in my meets are new. I have a lot of people that will come back and I see the same faces and we're like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you since the last meet. But the new lifters, and one of the things that I try to do, I've been in powerlifting for a long time, and I still get those nerves, even walking into a meet now. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are the commands? What am I what am I supposed to do? So I try to arm all of the new lifters, all of my new lifters that I have that are going into a meet with all of the information that I didn't have when I was a new lifter. I went for probably my first 5 years without a coach. So a lot of stuff I learned on the fly, a lot of stuff I learned asking questions, a lot of stuff I learned because I got red lights. And so I try to take all of the information that I have and give it to other people to help make them better lifters and to make that first meet enjoyable for them. I bombed out of my very first meet. Set my deadlift opener too high. I had been, I was training out of a CrossFit gym. So that's where I started powerlifting. Training out of a CrossFit gym using bumper plates. And I could pull, I don't know, I think it was 350 or something like that with bumper plates. But what I didn't realize, or what I didn't know, you get into a meet and you have those kilo plates, which are, that's a kilo plate for you, which is the same as a bumper plate, which is about like this. They do not pull the same. So I bombed out on deadlift. Couldn't pick it up. My opener was somewhere around 300 pounds. Could not pick it up. I sat down and I cried and I cried and I cried. Vowed never to do it again. And it hasn't happened again. I don't make those mistakes. So going into your first lift, your first meet, the biggest thing is going to be with everyone is you're going to be so nervous, and people are like, well, what are people going to think? Am I going to lift enough? Am I going to, they're going to laugh at me. They're going to think that, what are they going to think? I promise you, people don't care. People don't care how much you're lifting, what you're lifting. People are going to cheer for you. So I hear a lot of times where people say, oh, I've got to get stronger before I can do my first meet. Your first meet is about getting your feet wet, understanding what are the commands. you can read it and I can tell you, but until you have a judge there, a head ref that is telling you, squat, rack, and until you're there, it's not, you're not going to understand it. It's something completely different. So pick a meet, make it your first meet, and don't go into it with, well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to break a national record. I hear that all the time. I'm going to break a national record. I'm going to break a state record. Oh, I'm going to do it on my first lift. My first lift, I'm going to go out with for a state record. And anytime I see that with someone that I know it makes me nervous, because they're focused on numbers. Pick any meet. Does not make a difference what meet it is for your first meet. Go in, enjoy it, learn what a meet is about, learn your community, and use it as a learning experience to then take that knowledge that you got and move it to your next meet. Your next meet, maybe you can look at, now I can go in and break that state record. I can go in and I can break that national record. But don't make that your primary goal of your very first meet, because that's exactly what I did. I was going to break that state record. And luckily, it didn't kill me on powerlifting. It made me dig in my heels more. And I did go back eventually, and I broke that state record. But as a meet director, as a lifter, as a referee, when I do my rules briefing with all of my lifters, one of the first things that I tell them, and I think there's a misconception with lifters when they go in, that referee sitting in the chair wants to give me a red light. They don't want me to get my lift. And I tell them, we are gonna do everything that we can to within the rules. I mean, we have a rule book that we have to follow, but we are gonna do everything that we can to be able to give you a white light. Referees want to give you that white light. We want you to walk away from this event saying, that was the best thing that I've ever done in my life. I can't wait to do my next one. We're not sitting there going, okay, my finger's on the red button. Crap, I got to give them a white light. We want those white lights to come to you. And kind of one of the examples that I give people, because it happened to me, was you're standing there at the bottom of your deadlift waiting on your command to pick it up. There is no command. So if I'm the head ref, or one of my referees that works for me as the head ref, they're going to be like, you can pick it up. So whatever, and that is within the rules. We can do that. But if you don't make depth on it, we can't help you out. But I think that's one of the biggest things that people have in their head when they're going into their meet. So we are going to do everything we can to make this a great day for you, to make sure that you enjoy it, and to get you through it. The most important person in that room for a meet is that head ref. No one else makes a difference except what that head ref is telling you. That you need to pay attention, listen to their commands. The biggest thing that happens with new lifters is they jump their command. They jump their command all the time, and all that adrenaline is going. They're up here and they're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I'm about to get that big PR. I am so nervous. I just don't know what I'm going to do. And they get that, very first 400-pound squat, and they pop it up and they walk it in. And I'm like, please don't do that. Please listen to your head ref. And my lifters that I coach, when they're going into a first meet, I tell them, and I say it over and over and over. I said, I want to say it so many times to you that every time you lay down on that bench, you hear my voice saying, listen for your commands, listen for your commands, listen for your commands. Because I still even with as long as I have been lifting, when I'm doing certain lifts, I still hear my coach's voice in my head. On a squat, push the bar back to me, push the bar back to me, or long arms in my deadlift. There's just certain things, and I want them to hear that from me. So that's probably the number one thing that I hear with new lifters, or that I see with new lifters. So I'm going to Anaheim Anaheim, California for Ultra Nats with USPA next weekend. I'm flying out there, and I've read our USPA rulebook 800 times. I've taken all of my tests that I had to take to be a referee, but every time before I go to a meet, I read the important stuff in the rulebook. It's boring. It's not a fun read, but I want to see what has changed from last year, because there's teeny tiny little small things that change. But also just to remind myself, and even at being an international elite level athlete, when I get up on the platform, my body is trained to do it, but every once in a while I'm like, how many commands do I have on this? But read the rule book. I have just about every meet that I have someone that will show up without their gear. They come to weigh-ins, they don't have their gear. And I'm like, did you read the email that I sent out 2 weeks ago? They're like, well, I scanned it. Okay, so you looked at the roster, saw who was competing, and didn't pay any attention to anything else. They're like, well, I've had a couple of meets, my past 2 meets that I directed, where people didn't even show up for weigh-ins, and they thought we did same-day weigh-ins. And we worked through it, a little bit of a mess, but we worked through it. So there will always be, with USPA, because that's my primary federation, there's always going to be that email that comes out. It has all of the rules of disqualification, the rules of competition for your squat, bench, and your deadlift, but it also tells you everything that you need to know for that day. I didn't know I had to bring my underwear. Yeah, you got to bring your underwear. We have to see it. That is part of what you're wearing on the platform. I didn't know I had to bring my singlet. So I do keep a lot of that stuff on hand for people, especially deadlift socks, because so many people don't bring those. But, and I try to help, but read that email that the meet director sends out, and you're going to get a ton of information for that as well.
Proper fueling during the meet. I've seen a lot of things where they're eating like Sour Patch Kids, Rice Krispies, donuts. What would you recommend for
a powerlifting meet? I like to joke that a powerlifting meet is people say to me, oh, you must eat really healthy. And I'm like, well, my coach tells me on a daily basis, eat more, eat more, eat more, get your weight up, get your weight up. So kind of my diet plan is just to eat anything and everything that I want. When I'm trying to gain for a meet, I was joking with someone yesterday, and I talked about the Ben & Jerry's diet, which is the best thing ever when you're not doing a cut. But for your meet, I'm a creature of habit. I'm a complete creature of habit. Every single meet, you could go look in my 8 bags of food that I have with me, and it's going to be the same thing every single time. I found what works for me for my meets, and I don't change it. Every single meet, and it's going to be stuff like, I'm going to have Reese's in there, I'm going to have potato chips in there. Not really a big Sour Patch Kid. I'll have a couple pieces of candy. I always have a foot-long Italian sub. That's my standard. Bananas. But everybody will kind of find their thing. But where a lot of people make mistakes is they're like, oh, well, I'll bring a sandwich and a protein drink. So an average meet is going to last between 6 and 8 hours, give or take, somewhere in there. We're starting at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I mean, typically my meets will end, we're done by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know about you, but as a strength athlete, a sandwich and a protein drink, that might get me through squats if I'm lucky. You should always don't change anything. And people are like, oh, well, I'm thinking about trying this or trying that. But I will say to them, what do you normally eat for lunch? Oh, well, I like pizza for lunch. Perfect. Bring a pizza. And they're like, what? Bring the entire pizza. Bring a full, large pizza. What do you like to snack on? Oh, I like Reese's peanut butter. Okay, bring Reese's peanut butter cups. But don't go into this powerlifting meet going, oh, well, I need to change my diet today and I'm going to bring, carrot sticks and celery and like that sort of stuff. I mean, a powerlifting meet, if you look around at all the lifters in the warm-up area, you nailed it. It's donuts, and you need fast fuel. You need fast fuel, and you need a lot of it. My trip to the grocery store before the day of a meet, typically in food, will average $75 to $100. And it's all stuff that I know that I'll eat later, but I tend to wind up, after the meet, if it's a multi-day meet, going, hey, who wants Pop-Tarts? And who wants, I've got 18 bananas over here. I always take way more because I don't know exactly what's my body going to want that day. And I want to make sure that regardless of what my body wants or what my craving is that day, that I've got something that's going to get me through the day. I'm one of those people, I don't squat really well on a full stomach, and I have nerves. Even now, my nerves are jumping, but I do know that I can probably make it through my first squat, or I can probably make it through squats on a muffin and banana. Not ideal, that's me, that's my body, but listen to your body. I've tried eating more food than that, and it doesn't work.
I think another thing, maybe last question. We're already at 20 minutes, so this has been good.
Wow.
Yeah, it comes off pretty easy. But is it like when you have I guess I've heard the term handler, and I also heard somebody say rack height. Is it well, let me rephrase it. I guess in the warm-up room, is it good to figure out your rack height there, or is it good to go in kind of knowing this stuff?
Well, your rack height, you will actually get that at weigh-ins.
Oh, they tell you?
Yes. So you have to, USPA, we have a card that we fill out when you come in for weigh-ins. And, we get your openers, we confirm that you're in the tested or you're in the non-tested, that we have you in all the right divisions, we check your gear, and we get your rack heights.
Okay.
So, and I will tell you one thing, when you're getting your rack heights, a mistake that I see a lot of people do is, I have on Vans right now. I would not get my rack heights for squat in my Vans. I would put on my lifters because those are the shoes that I'm actually going to squat in on the platform. And I see a lot of people, they'll walk up there and they'll have on flip-flops or something. And I'll ask them, are those the shoes you're squatting in? I mean, because I know they're not. And they'll say, no, put those shoes on and get your rack heights. So you'll always have your rack heights that are already there because we need those for the spotters and loaders to be able to get your bar ready for you. Handler. I have not been to a meet in, I would bet you 5, 6, maybe even longer, that I haven't had a handler. And what makes a handler so important for anyone, is, to me, they're my brain. You're my handler. You're my brain for the day. You're the one. I don't know kilos. I purposely don't know kilos. I don't want to know kilos. That way it doesn't mess with my head. When I'm on the platform that I see, oh my gosh, there's like 3 reds on there, 4 reds. That's a lot of weight. So I have a handler that's there for me, that typically knows me. And, they're the ones that are doing the thinking for me. They're the ones that they have my plan that my coach has written out for me already. Here you go. Here's my plan. You do it. Like, it's all you. You tell me what to do. It's the one day I allow someone to tell me what to do. They tell me to sit my butt down. You need to sit down. You need to reserve your energy. Did you have your water? Have you eaten yet? They're doing all the things for me that I don't have to do. But I don't have to remember, okay, well, I'm opening up with 375 on squat. What's my next attempt? They've got all of that. And we kind of know beforehand when I do my squat, if I go, yeah, okay, take me up. Or if I'm like, that means, don't go too crazy on me. That didn't feel really great.
Actually, I guess the last question, that's a good segue. Should you go into your first meet kind of undershooting what you can do just so you don't like mentally, like as you said, you kind of bombed out with your first squat. Should you go in, I've heard you never performed as well on the platform as you do typically in the gym, just different surroundings. Should you, like your numbers when you pick your lift, should you kind of go in like you're already really confident you can do it, or should you kind of be a little more, yeah, like, I'm feeling real good. I might try to go for a PR today, just a small one, or kind of, what's the mind behind that?
Your first attempt on the platform should be your last warm-up. That's the way that you should look at it. So that first attempt, all that first attempt does, it's getting you in the meet. Like out of you should be, that's a fine line like that's a really, really good question. A very, very fine line. You want to be, nothing is going to destroy you more than getting up on the platform and doing that first lift and getting a red light. If you want to get all in your head and probably mess up all of your attempts that you're going to do, set your openers too high. So take it as, so I just did my last warm up in the warm up area. Now I'm going to go to the platform and I'm going to warm up. And that is what your first one should be. I mean, you shouldn't set them too low, but don't look at, oh, I can bench press 315 in the gym. So that means in competition, when you're doing the pause and someone else is in control of the movement of that bar, even though you're lifting it, I would take it down a little bit. That first one, make it like I said, it's a warm up for you. The second one, make it a number that you're like, okay, I'm probably going to get this one. And then your third one at your first meet, you're in the meet, you're in the game, you're right where you want to be. Now, if you're like, you know what, I know that I can bench 325. Like, I know I can get this. Then you can put it on there. And if you get it, that's fabulous. If you don't, you didn't lose anything. But I tend to go a little bit more on the conservative side with my lifters when I put them in a meet. Just because, like, I don't want anybody to do their first meet and to bomb out, because I remember that, and it's devastating to do. I worked for, the past 6 months training for this meet, and I bombed. Yeah. So